Excellent. So, Gary, I'm just going to go ahead and just ask you some set questions, and then we can go from there. Again, this is Stan Smith with Gary Vaynerchuck, who runs the awesome WineLibrary.tv, and it's so awesome that I don't even drink, and I watch it every week. So that's awesome, and I'm probably the only non-drinker that knows more than most drinkers know about wine. So, Gary, you're awesome. So thanks for getting online with me. And another thing, guys, is that I just wanted to say this about Gary. He does say that he wants to get to his mission is to know everyone in the world. And I just sent him an email maybe, I think it was late. And Gary got back with me that same night and was okay with jumping on this phone call. So he is the real deal. He is not a hypocrite. So he definitely lives what he says. So that's cool. So, Gary, I just wanted to ask you, my first question I have for you is that I'm really interested in finding out how you found your real and authentic voice.
I just listen to myself within. I think way too many people don't. I realized I was a little bit of a showman and wanted that kind of lifestyle. And once I saw social media allow me to have a platform to talk about the things I was passionate about, I addressed it. I went in head first and I made it happen.
What do you think the number one thing is that entrepreneurs do wrong when creating a voice for their business?
They chase dollars instead of passion.
That makes sense.
That's just the biggest mistake that anybody makes.
Right. So you think they're selling out a bit?
I think they're, a little bit. I don't think they're selling out. I think it's different than selling out. I think it's seeing an opportunity and being an entrepreneur and knowing you can make money in it, but not recognizing that if you did it around your passion, you'd be 40 times bigger.
Hey, Gary, a lot of people are hurting with this whole economic crisis thing, and I was just, and I actually had talked to a person just yesterday who was talking about they just got laid off, and they felt like this is probably the best time for them to go into business for themselves. And they're just really, a lot of this whole economic thing is really forcing people just to make some pretty tough decisions and forcing them to really go outside their comfort zone. And if you, came across a person like that and they're like, hey, listen, I'm going to start my business, I'm really going to kind of go after this brass ring, what would you tell them, the first thing they should do? What should they get right in their head, so to speak?
Pay their bills. I want to make sure that they have a way to pay their bills. I think way too many people are like, oh, I'm going to crush it. It's my passion. Gary said, follow your passion. Be careful. Pay your bills. It takes time. It takes time and patience. Nothing happens overnight. Facebook didn't happen overnight, and it was the right idea. Twitter didn't happen overnight, and it was the right idea. You know what I mean?
Wow. So, yeah, you're absolutely right.
So pay your bills, number one. Number two, understand that you've got to do it extra hours. You can't do this instead of a job. You should do a job that pays you so you can pay your bills and do this in extra hours. So maybe you even take a job at 7-Eleven because you want flexible hours and there's a couple of dollars coming in. But you've got to position yourself to pay your bills and follow your passion. It's got to be about what you love more than life because you will be able to then put in the hours.
I can totally hear you in terms of pay your bills or find a way to pay your bills first. I know that when I got into my head that I wanted to do my own business thing, I remember telling my wife, hey, I want to do this. She says, yeah, just keep your day job until you can make it work. So totally
keep your day job. And yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Time to be pragmatic. Don't be stupid. In your experience, what is the biggest myth or stumbling block when it comes to marketing on or offline?
I don't know if there's I'd love to answer that question. Nothing jumps out at me, and everything always does. I think so. There's really nothing that really stands out. I just don't think that people want to work and realize how much that is part of it. I think that's probably the biggest misconception. I think that people think that they can buy Google AdWords and have a good idea, and they're off to the races. And I think that is that's a mistake.
Hey, I was just curious. Do you get flack from the crowd in terms of you always say, hey, you got to work your face off, and I mean, like, you're probably one of the few guys I hear out there that says you got to work hard at this thing. Do you get a lot of flack from people?
No, because I think everybody fundamentally knows it's true. I think people are kind of like, you know what, gosh darn it, he's right. He's right. I mean, nobody did it overnight.
I know my business partner kind of went into cold sweats when I kind of called him up the next day and said, you know what, this guy says we got to work our face off, and that's what we're going to do. I think people recognize it.
People recognize it. I think people recognize it. They just don't want to admit it. People want stuff. I don't want stuff. I don't want a plane. I don't want a beach house. I want the accomplishment of crushing it and building a brand and a business. And I think the people that want things are very vulnerable. And it gets them caught into trouble, because they don't want to put in the hours. They don't want to do these things. And then somebody who does beats them.
The last question I have was for you is kind of moving forward this year. I know that it seems like you're just doing more and more and more. I mean, like, what are some of the things that you're kind of doing to kind of make your business, bigger, badder, like you say, bring in the thunder? Like, how does 09 look for you and your business?
Economy's tough, so the retail side is struggling, but the personal brand stuff is not. So that's kind of good and bad. I'm spending more time in the retail to make sure this boat, goes in the right direction.
Sure.
But, I do what I've done my whole life. I pay attention to the streets, I understand what people want, and I work my ass off every second. Yeah. Every second I can that I'm not spending with my family. If I need a quick break, like a football game or a TV show, I'll do that. I don't deprive myself. But I recognize that people are going to work hard out there. Everybody's going to be willing to work hard. There's a lot of people, let me say that, are going to be able, that are going to work hard. And I don't want anybody to outwork me.
Hey, and it just occurred to me, you do a lot of things right in your business, obviously on the offline side and the online side. What kind of directed you to have so much passion for the social media space?
It was a people game. This is now about people, and that's my strength because I like them. And once they get over my intensity, they tend to like me. And so I'm very happy about that.
Well, that's the question.